Hi, I'm Connie Townsend, group fitness instructor with the Wenatchee Racquet Athletic Club, doing another at-home workout in the midst of our home improvement project, so we'll stay away from the edge. Home improvement projects, by the way, are a great exercise. All right, today we're going to have a ball. We're going to take a little rubber ball. I spent a few bucks on it at Walmart. You can get them at Fred Meyer. You can get them probably at Hooked on Toys. We're going to use this neat little tool to do a full body workout. So we're going to work all of our muscle groups. We're going to keep the heart rate up a little bit as we go. We're going to start with a short warm-up. So if you need more of a warm-up, like I've said in the past, just do a little moving around before you start. We are going to do a little one. All right, so we're just going to hold the ball in the fingertips. No squeezing yet. Our feet are a little wide. Now we're going to lift our elbows, but don't let the shoulders lift. Keep them down. Draw the navel back toward the spine, and we're going to just rotate. So you're pulling around, getting some range of motion going in the spine, starting to activate the upper body. Gets the heart rate up with a little bit of rhythmic motion. Now a little further out. Back in. Now we're going to start bringing that ball up overhead. Your feet are just tapping. Pull the ball back, pull the arms back so they're right beside your ears. Let's get the back of the shoulders to start activating. Now your feet are wide, your toes are turned out a bit, and we're going to start overhead, drop into a plie squat in a big circle. Still getting the heart rate up, still warming up the joints, the muscles. Getting those muscle groups and joints to start moving in different directions. Getting warmed up in all planes of motion. Okay, up in the middle. Go the other way. You're dropping down, pushing up through those heels. Exhale. Inhale. One more time. Let's go up in the center. We're going to drop down into a squat, swing between the knees, up and pull back. So you've got a squat swing. It's a real great way to warm up the big leg muscles, especially all those squat muscles. Now when we use the ball as an exercise tool, you typically are squeezing toward the center of your body. So that's doing a lot of work in our hip joints later when we do squats, in our back, our chest, shoulders, and arms when we press. And bring it up. Let's step those feet closer. Let's bring it toward the chest, elbows out, shoulders lowered. Let's rotate. Just pull around. Nice stretch around the torso. So when we use the ball, it's a whole lot of core work. Really engages all the core muscles every time we squeeze. Now come on back to center. You're going to take the ball, Fingertips, tuck, push out, let that back stretch. And bring it back in. Let's try to keep the arms straight, pull it back, get the arms right beside the ears. We're working on the natural range of motion in the shoulders. We want them back. You're going to bend at the elbows. Bring it down. And bring it forward. All right, we're starting with a combination of lower body, then upper body. We're going to do a whole series of squats, different kinds, using the ball. So we put that ball between the knees, between the thighs. Now, to take some of the pressure off the knees as we squat, we're going to walk those feet closer in. So you have a very narrow stance. Your shoulders are going to stay back, your navel's going to be pulled in. We're going to come into a narrow squat, squeeze, release, push through the heels. Down, squeeze, and up. Now as you're standing up, because your feet are so narrow, you're squeezing the legs at the top. Not really purposely, but we're getting a good squeeze at the top as well. Which all of it activates all the stabilizers in the hips. You're drawing that navel toward the spine. Nice tall posture. Squeeze. Squeeze. Get the heart rate up a little. Keeping that body weight in your heels. Whew, one more. And up. Take it out. You're moving to your upper body. So your palms are on the ball. Legs are just hip width apart. All right, we're going to extend it out a little bit, but we're not locked in the elbows. Starting low. Your arms are slightly rounded. We're going to loosen the knees. Keep the hips neutral, the pelvis neutral. We're going to squeeze into that ball with everything we've got. And then a pullover. Now as you come up, you want that spine to stay neutral, so we don't want to let the low back arch. Inhale, exhale. You're trying to get those arms up beside the ears. We're squeezing that ball. So as we squeeze into our center, we've got the back involved. You've engaged the shoulders, the chest, the arms, both biceps and triceps, and the core. As we're moving up and down, you're getting all the different parts of the shoulder. One more. And releasing, coming back down to between the knees. Walking the feet close. A little variation of what we just did earlier. Shoulders back, belly button pulled in. And let's have a seat. Body weight's in the heels. And just squeeze, release. So it's something that takes a lot of concentration. You don't want to just kind of sit down and think about something else as you're doing this. Your shoulders are back. Your neck is neutral. You're not looking up, not looking down. Our feet are close. So that as we squeeze, we're developing the adductor muscles, the abductor muscles, all the muscles around the hips, and that core. Woo. 4, 3, 2, and up. All right. Squeezing rotations. Our legs are hip width apart. because we want a small base of stability. We want to stay a little bit off balance as we rotate. Palms on the ball. That means we're squeezing through the palms, not through the fingertips. All right, let's turn our fingertips up. Keep the ball close to the chest, elbows out, shoulders down. Squeeze. You're going to rotate. So as we draw the navel toward the spine some more, we're getting those obliques, those side muscles that turn the torso. We're also squeezing that ball really hard. So we're working in the back, the chest, the arms, the shoulders, and the core. Small, subtle exercise, very powerful for upper body strength. In 4, 3, 2, back, down to the legs. All right, back between the knees. So feet are locked in close. Belly button pulled back. We're going to sit. Weight is in the heels. Now, you're going to squeeze and hold as we do some little pulses. So you're pushing into the heels. Shoulders back. Head is neutral. Really gets the heart rate up because you're working all those big leg muscles, all the squat muscles. Plus, we're engaging the hips by squeezing, and building that inner leg strength. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, burning. Take it out of there. Woo. All right, back to our pullovers. This time we're going to add some movement to it so that we work on stability. Our legs are hip width apart. We're going to start low, kind of rounded arms like we're hugging a beach ball. Palms on the ball. We're going to squeeze. Now as we come up, we're going to bring a knee up. Oh, nope. Knee up as the ball comes down. Ball to knee. Alternating legs. Squeezing. So what you put into it is what you'll get out of it when it comes to the ball, because it has no weight of its own. So the harder you squeeze, the more those muscles are working. Try and bring that knee up in front of the hip, not just lifting the foot. 4. Actually, I lied. We have one more. Here we go. And bring it down. Woo. All right. Now, keeping it in our hands. It's another subtle exercise, subtle, not big movement. We'll be doing some arm circles out front. Then some circles around the head, overhead. Once again, squeezing into that ball. This time, our arms are maybe a little further out there. Shoulder blades stay down your back. We're going to squeeze. We're going to circle. Just out in front. Circle in one direction. As you hold that navel in, pulling it toward the spine, that engages all the core muscles. Starts to make an automatic reaction that as soon as you start moving, your core has reacted and engages. Other direction. A lot of work in your triceps, your shoulders. your back and your chest. Woo. 4, 3, 2, and release. Okay. Finishing this standing section. Well, no, we've got a couple more things in the standing section. Let's take it overhead. Now your feet can be a little wider here if you need a wider base of stability. Your knees are going to be loose because if we lock our knees, we tend to arch our back. So we want to keep the pelvis neutral. We're going to be overhead. Keep the elbows a little bit bent, but pull back. Pull the elbows back so you're not out in front. You're directly overhead. We're going to squeeze that ball and circle. Now as you circle, it's not a hula hoop. Okay, you got to keep the body still. So your core muscles are working hard to keep the body stationary, to support the spine, and to power that circle around the head, other direction. Now if you ever need to take a rest and bring it down, let the arms, the shoulders rest a moment, do so. Keep breathing, don't hold your breath. Try to pull it behind the head. Woo. Squeeze. 4, 3, 2, and bring it down. Let those shoulders rest. All right, one more standing thing. We've got a squat rotation. We're going to do it 2 ways. One is with the ball in the hands, squeezing. And the other is with the ball between the knees, squeezing the ball. So, feet are hip width apart, or a little wider than hip width apart. They're squat width, shoulders back, palms on the ball. That means we're going to squeeze. All right, you're going to sit into a squat. Squeeze that ball. Rotate just the upper body. Let's do another pullover just for good measure. So you're squeezing. Now, try to keep the knees from turning. Sit, rotate, up. Shoulders stay away from the ears. Navel pulls in. One more set. A lot of squeezing. A lot of work for the upper body. Now, ball comes between the knees. So that automatically brings the legs closer than we were a moment ago. Going to clasp those hands. Keep the arms straight. You're going to come down and squeeze. Rotate. Center. Push through the heels. You're squeezing the whole time. So you've got a squeezing narrow squat. Very powerful for those muscles that pull the legs together, the adductor muscles. Raise up. 4, 3, 2. One more time. Take that ball out of there. And let's get our mat out. We're going to be doing some hanging bent knee planks. Working on our hips, our core, our legs, our shoulders, because we're in a bent knee plank. All right. So, put our ball between our knees right now. All right. So, then you come into a nice deep squat. You walk forward and into a hands and knees position. Now if you need more cushion under your knees, just roll that mat up. Make sure those knees are happy, although we're only going to be here a moment. All right. Hands directly under the shoulders. Now your back is neutral, so that means your head is not dipping down. You're keeping the back of the head drawn up a little. Belly button pulled up. Toes tucked under. And we're going to lift the knees just a couple inches off the floor, so your shins are parallel to the floor. Then we're going to squeeze, release. In 4, 3, 2, and come on down. Untuck the toes, let the toes rest for a moment. And then going from here into a roll out. So we're going to come down into a laying position. Both arms are resting on the ball. Palms are down. Now we will not lead with the back of the head, so don't pull that back of the head up. Just keep the head neutral, look at the floor. We're going to be pressing into the ball as we use our low back to raise the body up off the floor. So your arms, shoulders, back, chest are all working together. So you press and roll up. Now, only as high as your back will allow, pressing into that ball. So the harder you press, the more work you're getting out of your shoulders, the muscles going down your spine, your low back, your upper back, your triceps especially. But both arm muscles, biceps and triceps. Now it even works down into your glutes and a little bit into your hamstrings. So you've got the whole back of the body engaged. Three. 2. And last one. Woo, roll it out, just let those arms stretch for a moment. Now the next one has no pressing involved. We're not going to squeeze the ball at all. We're just going to activate the back of those shoulders, all the posture muscles. And once again, working down the whole back of the body again too. We're just going to stretch out as long as you can. We're going to tuck the chin, look at the chest, and just lift and lower. Last one like that, but keep it lifted. Let's circle. You're going to feel a lot of work in your low back, in your shoulders. Only do what you can. And other direction. And bring it down, rest those arms. Okay. We're going into a side lying position. So we're going to turn over to our side. Now the ball is going to be between the feet. So that's kind of a trick to start with. Getting it between the feet and making it stay there. All right. Now you can always just lift and lower. It's kind of a level one. Try to get both legs up off the floor. You're using your top arm for a little bit of stability and leverage. Drawing the navel toward the spine, because we have to use all those core muscles. Even though we're kind of focusing on our sides, we're going to lift and hold and turn that steering wheel with your feet. So you're rolling it. So by moving like this, and moving those legs forward and back, you are working all the finer muscles around your hips, all the stabilizers. Woo! And try not to lose the ball when you're doing it. And then bring it down and bring it forward so you can get a hold of the ball. Now, bend those knees. Your feet are lined up with your spine back here. They're not out in front. It's going to be a clamshell. You're going to put the ball between the knees, between the thighs. Now, that top foot is dangling down a bit. So we're going to bring the bottom foot up to meet it in the center. We're going to draw the navel back, of course, toward the spine, and squeeze and release. So with a clamshell, this is a little different than a regular clamshell where we would be lifting that knee as high as we could and pulling backward. This one is squeezing down into your center. So we're using the same muscles around the hips, in the pelvis, in the core, but just in a different way, a different combination. We're training the core to be the one that powers this movement. Squeeze. Keeping the feet together. And depending on how strong the hip muscles around that joint, the joints are, you might feel fatigue pretty quickly with these. Okay, we're going to squeeze now and hold. Going to separate the feet so the legs are parallel. And as we squeeze into the ball, we're going to move that leg forward and back. So now we've started engaging the deepest muscle in the abdominals by getting that leg involved forward and back. And we're working different stabilizers in the hip, different combination of core muscles. Every movement has a purpose. Keep squeezing. And last one. Let those legs rest. Take the ball out of there. And we'll be moving to our back. Yep. So, turn over. We're going to put the ball between the knees. Alright. Now first, let's bring one knee up, then the other. You're in a chair position. Your toes are pointed. Now the most important thing to keep in mind is the engaging, the anchoring of the back into the floor. So we're going to pull the navel down into the floor, keeping the low back connected to the floor. We're going to squeeze those knees the whole time and do a double toe dip, like we're going forward to dip the toes into the water. Exhale out, inhale back in. Now if you go too far and your low back comes off the floor, then we want to keep it smaller. So just a really small movement. Keep breathing, exhale, and keep squeezing those knees together. So this one definitely digs down deepest into that layer of abdominal muscles that's the deepest that run side to side. Those muscles are in charge of stabilizing your pelvis and your spine. So we really want to take time to get to those. And last one there. Just pull those knees in. Feel the stretch in the low back. And then feet on the floor. Now your legs are a little closer than hip width because the ball is so small. Now this one we start in an anchored position, pulling the navel down. The act of pulling the navel down will tighten those abdominals. And we're going to lift the tailbone and roll up into a bridge. So your straight line between the shoulders and the knees. Now in this position, the back of your legs and your glutes can be squeezing gently to keep your legs up, or your hips up, because they're doing double duty. We're working the back of our body by keeping the hips up, and then we're going to squeeze and release. So your knees come to center, squeezing that ball as your hips are working to stay upright. So you've got two systems working together here. Your core is tying it all together, pulling the navel toward the spine, even in this position. And we're trying not to let the hips drop. So exercises like this, they get a lot of things combined. They're very effective for building strength within the muscles that are in and around the pelvis. Really works a lot on pelvic floor. Now squeeze and hold. We're not going to roll back down and up. We're just going to drop, relax the glutes, and then up and squeeze as we're squeezing the ball. So squeezing the knees in, lifting and lowering. Now working those hamstrings, glutes, adductor muscles, abductor, and hips and core. And pressing through the heels. Lift, lower. Woo! Squeeze those knees. In 4, 3, 2, and come on down. You can pull those knees in to stretch the low back. And then you should be able to just turn over. I'm going to flip around so that I'm facing you. And we got to get back to turning the steering wheel with our feet. So it's always a challenge to try to, A, get the ball between your feet, but then to keep it there. But that's good. That builds that agility, that dexterity in your legs. All right, you got to pull that navel toward the spine. That upper arm is going to help you. We're going to lift, and we're going to turn. Not too many. Working all those finer muscles around the hips. Working up into your sides. You're going to struggle to keep hold of that ball, but that's all part of the plan. Legs lifted. All right, go ahead and bring it forward. Get a hold of it. You're going to bring the knees forward and set that ball between the thighs again. And let's bring that foot from the bottom up to meet the top one in the center. Draw the navel in. We're building the stability here as we work in the leg we're just going to squeeze and release. So clamshells can be done several different ways. You might have a band around your thighs and you're pulling out. We've done one in the past where we set the weight, the weight on the outside of the leg, and you have to push the weight back. And this is just an opposite of that, where we're pulling in, squeezing. So our focus is on the center, coming toward the center of the body instead of pulling back. Squeeze. And we're pulling the navel back the whole time because we want to develop all the muscles throughout the pelvis. All right, on this next one, let's squeeze, separate the feet, and you're just going to roll it using a whole different set of stabilizing muscles in the hips. You're still squeezing the ball, just using the leg muscles a little differently. Squeeze, squeeze. Four, three, two, and let the legs rest. Take it out of there. Let's come back to our back for a moment. And we'll finish with a ball pass. And that's just what it is, what it sounds like. We're passing the ball from our hands to our feet. Now you can do this with straight arms and straight legs or with bent. So start that way first. Our objective is to keep our lower back connected into the floor. So we're drawing down. We don't want to extend too far out from our center. We want to keep that connection with the floor. We're going to extend out only as far as you can go. And come on back in, pass it to your feet. And out, and in. So start small. Experiment with how far out you can go. Exhale, inhale, without letting that low back leave the floor. Remember, you can keep your legs really bent or further out. Only do what you can. With any of these core exercises, we're building endurance in those muscles as we go. So over time, you can do more and more of something. Let's pass it back to the hands. Lay those legs down. And push that ball overhead. Try to straighten those arms. We're lengthening the spine. And now, we're going to align it. So pull the navel into the floor. So now you've got your shoulder blades connected to the floor as well as your low back. We're strengthening all the muscles that keep us in alignment. And then release the abdominals. Bring the arms back in. Let's bend the knees, put the ball between the knees. Extend the arms out to the sides. And no need to squeeze the ball. Just hold it between your knees as you come over to one side. Loosening up around the pelvis and the spine. And then other side. And then back to center. Let's lift the head and shoulders. Get up to leaning on the elbows and then up to leaning on the hands. So lift the chest and pull the shoulder blades together behind. stretches in the front of the shoulders and the chest. And then release. Let's lay those legs down. Take the ball in your hands. Don't squeeze it. Just hold it in the fingertips. We're going to tuck the chin. Push forward. Reach it toward the feet. And then back in. Let's put it between the knees and then get to a hands and knees position. I'm going to tuck the toes under and come up into a downward facing dog type position. Lifting the hips, lowering the head between the arms. Get those shoulders to stretch, back. Try to get the heels down. And then just walking those hands back. Let's see if we can hang here and stretch our hamstrings. Try to straighten the legs. And then bend the knees and let's roll up. Take that ball. Good. Just take it between the fingertips. Shoulders down. Draw the navel in. You're going to pull around. So we're getting that spine to stretch and rotate. And other side. Back to center. Let's put it down, tuck the chin, push it toward the floor, stretches the upper back. And out in front, push forward, look down. And then straighten. Let's go up, push it toward the sky. Get that spine to lengthen again. Let's see if we can bring it down behind the neck without tilting the chin down. Let's pull those elbows back. Woo. And release. And we're going to bring it down behind us. And push it toward the floor. That gets those shoulders back and down. And then tilt the head forward. Puts those shoulders back and down. Good posture. I hope you had a ball. We'll see you again.